Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. We're here on the desolate jungle lands of the Basement Collective table, where the forces of Nurgle have started infecting the local populace.
I mean, we're just trying to garden. That's what Nurgle does.
Exactly. It's a Nurgle garden. And the Drukhari, led by Archon Skari himself, has been ordered to do a domination. So let's take a look at the pre-game stuff, the armies, and let's dive right in to the action. Let's begin.
The Dark Kin.
Hello, and welcome to another SkaredCast
That's
Battle Report.
Yes, sir.
Here again at the Basement Collective.
The basement itself.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
having another game where your Death Guard
My Death Guard.
are going to fight the Drukhari.
We'll try.
We are practicing for the Michael Mudd Memorial
The
Tournament,
MMM.
MMMT.
Oh, sorry.
It's the 10th year of
Which
this.
I can't go to this year.
I know, it's a shame.
That's so sad.
But it's a 10th year. It's a charity event that we
Irvin
run.
won that last year.
Yeah.
Irvin was the winner with a weird Chaos
With
list.
with a bunch of Demon Princes or something.
No, it was like each Chaos Lord and then their fast
okay.
attack
Like
slot.
a tetrad sort of thing.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Nice. And so it's a weird little mission. It's like a mix of Maelstrom and kill points and
Yeah,
stuff like
who
that.
made these missions? You make these missions?
No, Sean did.
Okay,
Sean.
okay.
He took an inspiration from Infinity.
Infinity. Oh.
Yeah, and
I'm just kidding.
yeah,
I'm just kidding.
And
Infinity's
so
okay.
so we're gonna take a look at the armies. I actually really like them. It's 1,500 points, single battalion.
Single. Yeah, that was hard because
Yeah.
I was gonna play my sisters a battle, but the way I play my sisters, I actually use 5 or 6 fast attack slots.
Wow.
So I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not
Death Guard
even.
it is.
I'm just running a basic Cabal. I don't have any Vect.
No
I don't
Vect.
have.
Well, I mean, let's be
I
honest.
don't have Talos. I don't
4
have
command points
Grotesques.
for Vect now, dude.
I know. This is post FAQ, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think any of the rules we're playing. I mean. Yeah.
Well, screens will be important. You got some cultists, so
yeah,
that'll
I have
come
one
in
or
handy.
2 or
Yeah.
37.
That'll come in handy. Those screens will come in handy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to the armies. We're gonna take a look at the table, and we're gonna dive right in to the
battle.
action.
The battle.
So leave a comment down below, share it with your buddies and pals, and
All
check
your
out
buddies.
the Basement Collective for some
we
more
posted
hobby
our,
stuff.
We posted a monthly video last month, dude.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe any other content for us wargamers is
Yes,
the
yes.
best. So get excited. Let's. And here we have 1,500 points of Drukhari. This is a single battalion detachment of the Cabal of the Poisoned Tongue. Leading the army, we have Archon Skari himself with a blast pistol and a husk blade. We have his Drakon with an agonizer, pistol, and phantasm grenade launcher. A Lamian has joined them in the battlefield. For troops, I have an 11-man Cabalite Warrior unit with a blaster on an old school Cabalite Warrior and a splinter cannon. And then I have 2 5-man Cabalite Warrior units with blasters. 3 Venoms, a Tantalus, a Void Raven Bomber, Trueborn from the Index with blasters, 5 Mandrakes, and to round it off, a 10-man unit of Scourge with Haywire blasters. And that is 1,500 points. It's going to be interesting not having Feel No Pain on my tanks, or Vect, which I like. And they will be facing the Death Guard. Okay, and here we have 1,500 points worth of Death Guard.
Death Guard, it is.
Death Guard, it is. It's a battalion, a single battalion detachment. So, what did you bring?
Alright, so starting off, we got a Chaos Lord. He's got the Fuger's Helm and the Arch Contaminator. That's the relic and the warlord trait. That allows me to reroll all. What is it?
Poison weapons.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Within 9 inches in. No, that's within 10 inches. And then reroll all ones to hit because he's a Chaos Lord within 9. And then we have the
Plague Caster.
Plague Caster. He has Miasma, Curse of the Leper, and Smite.
Yep.
2 units of 10 cultists, 1 unit of 17 cultists because I had extra points.
Yep.
2 Voted bloat drones.
With the flamers.
Of course, there's no other way to run them.
100%.
You got a unit of 3 malefic blight haulers. So
Yeah.
they're cool because in a unit of 3 they get +1 to hit, so they hit on 3s.
Nice.
And so they have a multi-melt missile launcher and some sort of flamer weapon. And they're actually not that bad at combat as well.
Cool.
And then 3 of your plague burst crawlers with the flamers and the heavy stubber.
Awesome. And
Heavy
that-
slugger, not
Heavy,
stubber.
heavy slugger, which is like a heavy bolter.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay. So, leave your predictions down below as the plague will try and take the poison tongue. We start our deployment. Now, during this format, one force deploys completely, and then the second force deploys, and you know who has first and second turn. So, Kevin deploying first and going first, deployed relatively generically, aggressively, and I was able to counter-deploy, knowing that he was going to have the first turn, allowed me to mitigate the amount of damage he was going to do on that first turn of moving and shooting. Deployment has happened. So, Kevin has deployed his whole army. Big unit of cultists around that side, the 3 plague burst crawlers, the flamers, the little crawlers, the lord with his aura, the psyker is around there somewhere as well. Psyker's back there. Cultist unit. Essentially, he's kind of just crammed everything into there. What I've done is I know I'm going second, of course. So I put my Trueborn in the Venom, 2 Cabalite Warrior units, Tantalus, Void Raven, and I deployed the 10 Scourge in cover. And now the Mandrakes are deep striking, but they won't arrive till turn 2, since that is now how that works. There you go. Now there's no seize the initiative, nothing. It's just he wanted to go first. I made him deploy first, so I counter-deployed, but he goes first. And with that, enjoy the game, sir. You get 2 Maelstrom cards. If you can't score it, of course, you redraw.
Death March. At least 3 friendly Death Kid units are completely within your opponent's half of the battlefield.
Okay.
Infantry units.
You have to get your cultists over to my half.
Yeah, that's not happening. Oh, wow. Grandfather's Gift, 150 point of least one enemy was completely destroyed during your turn.
That's it?
The last model of the unit was slain by an attack made by a Death Grid model, attack with a plague weapon. Oh, wait, sorry.
So, essentially, kill something.
But it has to be done with a plague weapon.
Which is almost all your weapons.
I guess so. Cool.
Okay,
Works for me.
So kill something and move up into my half of the board.
Yeah.
Okay, get excited. Let's begin as the Nurgle start their implacable advance towards the Drukhari lines. Dun 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 dun. Death Guard turn 1. Kevin essentially spread out, moved behind this large hill in the middle of the board, and essentially targeted the most dangerous thing, which were the Venoms. He knew that if the Venoms would get up to his Plague Burst crawlers and tie them up, that would essentially mean the end of the game. And his little Blight Haulers did a lot of damage on one of the Venoms, killing it outright. But that was all he really did in that turn, but it set him up for a good second turn, and I was not going to retaliate. The Death Guard in their turn 1 have essentially maneuvered outwards like this, kept the rerolls around here. Then these guys shot and blew up that Venom.
Yes, sir.
That Venom has taken 4 wounds. This Venom has taken 2 wounds. So you did get first strike or first blood, essentially. The last blood is up for grabs. You also get a point for killing a non-Warlord HQ.
Yes, sir.
And now we're moving into Drukhari turn 1. Now this game will last 5 turns, so it's against the clock. And you did discard the get into my half of the table with infantry, but you kept the kill something with an Nurgle unit.
Yes.
Okay. High Command for the Drukhari has ordered me to make something with my Warlord.
Priority objective received, yeah.
Okay. So my Warlord has been ordered to psychological warfare. Fail morale test.
That's possible technically for your Warlord.
Yes.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
Like moving all your Death Guard units into your deployment zone.
Yeah, exactly. And the next one is defend objective 3, which happens to be back over here. Okie dokie. So moving on to the first turn for the Drukhari. Let's see what we can do. The biggest threat in this Death Guard army were the flamers everywhere. So this turn I tried to stay as far away from them as possible and kill the closest one, because I knew that those flamers would just destroy everything in my army, because they're very strong, very reliable at doing damage. Okay, Drukhari. Drukhari turn 1. So I essentially moved the Scourge around this way and the rest of the army, and I fired pretty much everything into that one flamer drone, and I killed it finally with the Void Raven bombers. And then I did shoot a lot into these cultist unit, and they failed their morale. So there's only 8 of them left out of 17, with some poison shooting from the Venoms. And then I did put 2 wounds on this one with the Tantalus. So I essentially moved far away from these little droney things, but they're going to come around. They move 10 inches, so they'll be able to get some good pot shots over here. I got rid of Priority Orders Psychological Warfare, because that's pretty hard for Archon Scary to do by himself. And I still have Defend Objective 3 over here. You have kill a unit with a plague weapon.
and Scour the Skies.
Kill something that flies, which I have, I guess, a few things that fly.
1 or 2 of them, eh?
1 or 2 things. So we're moving on to turn 2. Remember, the end of the game objective is you get 1 point for controlling each of the 5 sections. So you have 2 table quarters, a central objective, and 2. It is turn 2 out of 5. There's no more than 5 turns. So let's get stuck in, shall we? Turn 2 for the Death Guard was a little bit of maneuvering, but it was about continuing to take out those Venoms. He knew how much he had to take care of them. Now, the craziest thing this turn happened when the Blight Haulers fired frag rockets into my Scourge. I used Strike from the Shadows to give them a 2+ armor save, and I still lost half the squad. This threw me completely for a loop, as those rolls were absolutely crazy. So, turn 2. He got Scour the Skies and Grandfather's Gift, because he killed a Venom with a Plague Weapon.
Yes, sir.
I also lost 5 Scourge, as these frag rockets rolled 18 shots, hit 17 times, and I failed 6 saves, even though I used Strike from the Shadows for a 2-up armor.
Yeah. Alright, battles.
So I'm gonna spend 2 CPs to not make them run away. They're just going to stay right there, so I have 3 CPs remaining. I also made this guy -1 to hit from the 3 multi-meltars.
He did take 6 wounds.
He did take 6 damages off it. My Trueborn didn't lose anybody after their Venom exploded, but he did move up relatively aggressively. So I do have Defend Objective 3, and I also have Secure Objective 4. That just happens to be this one right over here. Okay, so moving on to turn 2. I've been losing Venoms and apparently a lot of Scourge. So let's see what I can do as the game continues. So this was turn 2. And I started to get aggressive this turn. I move blocked the Plague Burst Crawlers with my play, knowing that I was going to sacrifice it on the 3rd turn. But I needed to take out those Blight Haulers, because they were doing incredible amounts of damage to my army. I also brought in the Mandrakes, and I basically tried to do a killing blow this turn. Turn 2 for the Drukhari. Got very aggressive. Moved blocked with the Venom and the Void Raven Bomber, essentially. Then I shot everything I could here and took out 2 of the little burst crawler things. The Void Raven did 11 damage to one, which is really cool. And then the Tantalus, all the blasters, everything killed 1 more. I did destroy that Plague Drone with the Haywires, and then they fire and faded to 4. So I do secure Objective 4. I'm also starting to defend Objective 3 as the Mandrakes came in and only killed 3 of these cultists in shooting. The bomb was dropped on the cultists over here, and I killed 6 out of 8 with the bomb, and then the Venom finished off the other 2 as well. So, moving in to turn 3 for the Plague Death Guard. And Archon Scari's out. He was going to maybe charge in, but that was a really long charge. And his Dracon is behind here as well. The Trueborn, of course, hopped into the Tantalus and then moved up with the Cablite Warrior unit inside. So, moving on to the next turn, and what do the Death Guard get?
Kill a character.
Kill a character.
And defend objective 4.
And defend
That's this one here.
this objective down here. Moving on to turn 3.
Turn 3 for the Death Guard. He had to kill the Razorwing Bomber, the Void Raven Bomber, and he did kill it. And then he put an incredible amount of damage on the Tantalus, essentially leaving the Tantalus with only a few wounds remaining. On the far other flank of the battlefield, brave cultists braved against the Mandrakes and wiped out the Mandrake threat.
Turn 3. Okay, so what happens? All the Scourge are dead. The plane died because all the flamers essentially shot at the plane. And the Tantalus is alive with 3 wounds remaining.
Yes. Then pass that multi-melt to save.
The Mandrakes got slaughtered by rapid-firing cultists, and these charged in, killed one in combat, and then he failed his morale test. So the sergeant ran. Okay, so moving on to turn 3 for the Drukhari. I'm
gonna throw out.
He has defend objective 4,
I'm
which
not
he
gonna
has there,
defend it,
and he has assassinate as well.
I'm gonna throw out defend objective 4.
So defend objective 4. I stopped defending objective 3 because those cultists got in the way, sneaky cultists.
Woo!
And I get pain in all its forms. I have to try and kill something in both the shooting and the fight phase. Cool. Awesome. So I basically have to try and kill stuff in different phases, which is going to be very interesting to say the least. Okay, we're moving on to turn 3. Remember, out of 5 turns, so we'll be back.
So it's turn 3, and I've noticed that he's definitely got the upper hand. I have to start making something happen. So I move my Tantalus up, I move my Warlord out, essentially trying to take care of the Blight Haulers and trying to tie up as many of the Plague Burst Crawlers as possible. However, he gets lucky. My Tantalus dies as it charges in, changing the tone.
Okay, so turn 3 for the Drukhari. I've lost the Tantalus. A lucky Overwatch shot knocked the Tantalus out from the sky. But nobody died in the explosion. Archonskari ran in.
One person died in the explosion.
One person died,
Yes.
sorry. One of the Cablite Warriors. The Venom did charge in and has locked up the Sorcerer and both of these, but he's probably just going to smite it because he only has 2 wounds left. And that's it. I didn't score any Maelstrom points this turn because Maelstrom has not been kind, but I did kill all those Cablite Warriors, cultists.
Yes.
Because they failed their morale test.
They did.
So Argonskar and his Lamian have charged into here. I basically put my Lamian out because I remembered that she was in there and I couldn't have put the Trueborn and them with her in there. So she followed him around, essentially. Just as I'm remembering how to use Cabal stuff. Everything dies so much faster than in the Coven.
Yes.
Okay, so we're moving on to turn... You have 1 card, right?
Yep.
You have Assassinate and...
Defend objective 1.
Defend 1, which happens to be...
Right back here.
Back over there. Okay, perfect. So moving on to turn 4 out of 5 turns.
There are only 2 more turns to play. So taking as many objectives as possible is very important. Maneuvers back, starts defending an objective, and then he charges his Lord into my Venom, and even with a smite, unable to kill the Venom that's tying up the Plague Burst Crawler, but also wipes out essentially the big unit of Cablite Warriors. He's just mopping up at this point and really putting me on the back foot.
Okay, end of turn 4. He didn't kill the Venom in Psychic or with his pistol, so he had to charge in his Lord, who didn't do anything. The Psyker finally got the Venom, didn't explode, but it stopped this guy from shooting, and that guy moved back to start defending Objective 1. But the Cablite Warriors are fine, they've moved out that way as well. This Plague Burst Crawler moved up and flamed 8 models out of this unit.
Yep.
But 2 of them remained, and they are fearless thanks to Power from Pain.
Nice.
While this thing stomped on the Lamian, and then Archonskari only put 2 wounds with his eternal, this is the, see if he gets mortal wounded. That's cocked. He doesn't. His Jin Blade only put 2 wounds on that thing. Okay, so now moving on to Drukhari. Turn. I still have Defend 3, which is pointless. And I get score any. So D3 points for any 2.
So, Supremacy comes up. I have the ability to potentially turn this game on its head. So I'm going for broke. I'm trying to get as many points as possible. I kill the Sorcerer. However, that sacrifices the Supremacy. Will it be enough? Let's see after this.
Your last turn.
Yep.
Okay, so turn 4. I kept Supremacy. I wasn't able to get it. I got rid of Defend Objective 3. What happened was I killed this, it exploded, and killed one of my Cabalite Warriors, put a wound on Archon Skari. His Jin Blade finally killed it. Then his shooting, I killed this one, it exploded, put 3 wounds on this guy. Then other shooting, put an extra wound on it. And then what I did is I shot and charged into the Sorcerer, and the Cabalite Warriors were able to finish him off in combat. I sacrificed them from taking that objective to charge in and get me the bonus point for killing an HQ that's not the Warlord, which is pretty cool. He did get 2 points for defense, so his Maelstrom's like way up.
Yeah.
But I have stopped this guy from firing. So he has 1 left, which are probably going to murder them as he kind of moves around. But it's his last turn. So after this, the game will be done, and you get a point for each zone you control, essentially. So we'll be back after his turn 5, and then I get last turn because he made me go second. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be tight because it's been back and forth, and we've beaten the crap out of each other. It's been pretty crazy. So let's see what happens after.
So it's Death Guard turn 5. Kevin plays it very, very smart. He stays away from my units to prevent any charges. He moves as many units as he can into different positions to take the table quarters, which was one of the mission objectives. He hides his Warlord in order to prevent me to get like another kill or a character kill or Kingslayer, and essentially just hunkers down. In my turn, I maneuver, try and kill some stuff, and it's not enough to turn it around.
And the game is over. So I tried to get Fear and Terror off by using my Phantasm Grenade Launcher. I did kill one. He needed to roll a 5 or 6 for one of them to run away, but
Rolled a 2.
he rolled a 2, so they didn't run away. And then all the blasters shot, and I did 1 wound, so I was unable to get last kill as well. So the total points are 5 points for the Drukhari to 8 points for the Death Guard, because he has that corner, that section. I have the middle section, my Trueborn, this back section, 2 units here. So I'm assuming, we don't exactly know how the scoring is, but even then, it's a 3-point difference.
Yeah.
And victory goes to the Death Guard. So make sure you stay tuned for our after action report as Skari decides to run away and lick his wounds. And the plague lord is happily rejoicing in the fact that the Garden of Nurgle will continue to spread. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the after. And that is a game.
That's all she wrote?
So close.
Yeah, 8 to 5 is not bad.
That's not terrible,
But
actually.
when you try to fight the Death Guard, you
Honestly,
know what's gonna happen.
yeah, it's true. That's supremacy, but it was either going for that psyker or getting the supremacy. They died either way.
Yeah.
But honestly, I feel like I needed to tie up that tank.
Yeah, that
So-
tank. Those tanks are good, especially if they move up and they flame something.
Yeah, you can touch them and tag them. Only drawing 2 Maelstrom cards was very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, it really changed the dynamic.
It does, yeah.
Because it really affected it. And then you killed all my transfers really quick.
Yeah, so that was the goal. My goal was to kill the Venoms first turn. I only killed 1.
Right.
But then if you kill the Dark Eldar transports or the fast moving stuff, then they got Cabalite Warriors. I don't really do anything.
I know, it's so
That
weird.
is the goal.
So weird playing without the Coven.
You
the
miss your
Talos.
6-up, feel no pain.
Oh, no, I missed the toughness
His
6 and
Talos.
the toughness 7.
Of course, the Dark Eldar player misses the Talos.
Yeah,
They
because
didn't even
they're
get touched in the
amazing.
FAQ, except
Well,
for
the fly
yeah,
thing, that's a
but
big deal.
Whatever.
The FAQ rulings didn't really come into play.
No,
Screens, nothing
no,
like
nothing
that.
like that.
It didn't really affect us in any
No,
way,
you
shape,
could have
or
used the
form.
stratagem, the 2-point stratagem.
I could have, but
There's no
it
point.
doesn't really
Yeah.
help Drukhari almost in any way, shape, or form. Although I think the highlight of the game for me was when your little blight crawler guys,
Malefic Blight Haulers.
they blight holders,
Yeah.
they did 18 shots.
They get
17 hits and 12
With their
wounds on
missiles,
the
yeah.
Scourge. with the frag rockets.
Yeah.
And killed 6 of them.
After,
Or
and I
5
had a
of them.
2+ save. Well, it's a
It
good
was
thing at that 2+, because you rolled some 2s too. The whole squad would have died.
It was
But they
terrible.
did really good first turn too.
Yeah, the Scourge were amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that 10-man unit because they were able to take some
Yeah,
damage.
and you don't
and
lose
were
your
able to come back.
blasters.
And also a really interesting mission. I really liked it. Very like low scoring.
Yeah.
But it was like, you really had to think about what you were doing, and I thought that was really
Yeah,
fun.
so that's when I just threw my tank in the back of the board and I hid my Lord so I could have 2 units and whatnot.
Yeah, and then well, let us know what you think of the mission.
Yeah,
it's
it was a
only
good one.
1,500
This
points.
Michael Mudko is sold out.
It's the sold out. It's the 27th of October
Yeah.
in Stratford, Ontario. But you have an event coming up
Yes,
too.
in January in Sudbury, Ontario. So if you guys don't know where that is, you go to Toronto, and then you go 4 hours north of Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And in January 12th to 13th, we're having a ETC-style team tournament, 4-man teams. We have space for 16 teams, which is 64 people. Redvin's going to have a team there. Chris, the Canadian captain, Chris Haynes for the ETC, is going to have a team. I know there's some people coming up from the States, the Beef and Wing guys. Joshua Odessa is going to try to get a team. So we're probably going to cap out the 16. It's $200 for a team, so
For a
50
team
bucks.
of 4.
Yeah, so
for
50
a
bucks a
weekend
player.
and food's included.
One of the foods included. If we
Wow,
get over
okay.
12 teams, then both days will be included.
Okay.
But one of the day lunches are included.
That is
at least.
awesome. So it's an ETC style
Yes.
4-man team event, January
12th and 13th.
12th and 13th.
Honestly, ETC, a 4-man ETC event with a team is the
the
best
most fun way to
you'll
play
have played 40K. Because it's like, if you could be losing badly and you could try and get 2 or 3 points, or you could be winning, and it's all team camaraderie, right? And it's awesome. I love
It's
it.
amazing. You
It is.
get the team spirit. So we'll put a link for the event down in
Yeah.
the description below.
Yeah, it's sign
Make
up by
sure
Best Coast Parents.
Yeah, sign up on BCP, just straight up on there.
Yeah.
16 spots for different teams. Get 4 of your pals. Come on up,
To
to
Sudbury.
to
In the middle of
Sudbury,
winter.
Ontario, in the
You
middle
know,
of winter. It'll be fun.
If you like snowshoeing and skating, we'll have all of that there.
Fabulous. It'll
Yeah.
be right outside the hole.
Make sure a four-wheel drive car might be your best bet getting up here.
Hey, it's all good. You know what? I'm gonna be here. The Canadian ETC prep team is gonna essentially have a lot of
Yeah.
guys coming up as well.
Yeah, the people trying out to be on the ETC team.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So
Yeah.
if you can get a team and make your way up to Canada,
It'll be
come
awesome.
on down,
Yeah.
and it'll be ITC ranked. As
It'll be
well.
ITC ranked, and it's probably going to be using the current ITC FAQ. If the
Awesome.
if the ETC doesn't update the FAQ by then, we'll be using the ITC FAQ.
And of course, it'll have chapter approved. And
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
probably.
but it's going to be all. We're going to use chapter approved, and it's going to be ETC pairings and ETC missions.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the battle report.
Yes, thanks for watching.
Big shout out to all the Patreons like Kevin over here.
I am a Patreon.
That help support the content that we do on the channel. Check the links down below.
Canada's #1 player
right now. at
right now.
least.
Well, no.
On the,
No
on
one's
the
gonna beat
road,
your score.
On the road to
LVO.
LVO.
The LVO
So,
champion right here.
The fancy Archon. And with that, I am Scary, your grateful host.
Kevin from the Basement Collective.
And this is Scary. Till next time.
Have a good night, guys.
Scary out.